Based on the small collection of Lancias I have here, can you guess what we're going to be taking a look at to begin today? We have two new Lancia releases, one from Mini GT and one from Tarmac Works. And these are both super exciting releases to me because I am a huge fan of Lancia rally cars. And we got two brand new Lancia rally cars at the same time, which is just amazing. And this Tarmac Works one is a new line from Tarmac Works. It is the Hobby 64 Plus line, which, as you can tell from the image on the box, means it has an opening part. So we're going to take a look and see how well did they actually execute this. But before we do that, let's take a look at this Mini GT release, the Lancia Delta HF Integrale Evoluzione number 3. So the 1992 Rally 1000 Lakes winner, number 322. So this this car came, or this was a Group A rally car, came after the 037 that we're going to take a look at from Tarmac Works. But we're going to take a look at this one first because I think the Tarmac Works release is going to be the more exciting of the two releases, although this one is pretty cool as well. I've been really looking forward to both of these releases. They'd been teasing them for a long time, and I'm just such a fan of these rally cars, especially the 037. Oops, do not want to drop this. And but this looks really cool. Roll cage on the interior, pretty well executed front end, lensed headlights in there, looks pretty nice. They actually did some detail in the base. It's a little unusual for Mini GT. No tread on the tires. Wow, what is up with that? That seems very wrong to me. I mean, I don't think rally cars ran slicks even when they ran on tarmac. Maybe they did sometimes, but that's really surprising. But yeah, so anyway, this is very cool. I'm going to need to do some research and see if for this particular rally, the 1000 Lakes rally, that they would have run on slicks, because that's going to bug me a little bit. Because I knew, we all know Mini GT is perfectly capable of doing treaded tires, but they have chosen not to do that. So we have the Tomica Limited Vintage. Obviously, this is the road car version of the Delta Integrale, but you can see Mini GT did a pretty good job. Seemed to be pretty much the same size, so we can assume we've got a good 1/64 scale, and it's awesome. Looking forward to see what else they do with this casting. There should be a lot of interesting releases that they can do from that. And then obviously we have some Hot Wheels versions, and then we have the 037 from Hot Wheels as well. And let's get this Tarmac Works. Let me move these other Hot Wheels out of the way, and let's get this Tarmac Works out and take a look at it. See, does Tarmac Works deliver, or do they disappoint? Because it is a brand that at times has definitely disappointed. I mean, out of the package, it looks pretty cool. This is pretty nice packaging. It's magnetic, so the box lid is not sealed in any way. It just is magnetically held in place, and pretty cool. Little overkill, but it does give it a premium feel for sure. And you can see it from all angles through the acrylic case, but we're of course gonna take this thing off and get it off of the base. So this is number 1583, and I have no idea how many of these they have made. They have already put out 2 different versions of this. This one is the main release, and then there is a more limited version in red of what they call the test car, which is looks like there's some decals. Oh, Marlboro sponsorship that you can add on if you want to. And all right, I already see something that's maybe a little concerning here. Oh, do these move? No, it's just loose. Okay. Yep, so always the question mark with Tarmac Works. So how well did they execute this? Gap's not too bad. Wheels look fantastic. Yeah, this thing is just... It's just such a cool car. Yeah, the engine, it's a little... It's a little iffy there, I think. But... So yeah, so this piece here is a little loose. I don't think it's supposed to do that because this side doesn't move, so I think I'm probably going to end up breaking that off at some point. Maybe then I'll be able to fix it. Tires a little messed up. Anyway, all right. I don't want to nitpick this model too much because it's still pretty cool. Obviously, you know, it's Tarmac Works. They have been a little hit and miss with their quality. It's some pretty good detail in the engine. Springs on the suspension, which is quite nice. Some flashing on the tire. That's pretty sloppy. Anyway, awesome car. It's a cool model. Definitely has a few issues, which is a little disappointing. But it's the kind of thing, like we're looking at it under magnification, so it's not gonna be a huge issue, but it is a little disappointing to see something like that. I think that's, to me, is probably the biggest issue. I mean, that's just sloppy, but anyway. Such a cool car, though. Love it. And definitely looking forward to seeing what these companies bring out, because they're doing some cool stuff. And we can see, we can put it next to the Hot Wheels and see just how big the Hot Wheels is. It is definitely larger than 1/64 scale. But yeah, very cool. It's, it is a Tarmac Works. Tarmac Works is they do not always nail it on the quality front, and unfortunately it seems that that's the case with that release as well. So that's a little disappointing to me, but I'm still glad to have that. I've been waiting for that one for a long time, and I was always apprehensive. Moving parts, always a hit and miss kind of thing. I think I think this is more of a hit than it is a miss, because it is pretty cool just to be able to do that. But you can see that is definitely anyway. It's a little disappointing, but it's still a cool car. All right, next from Greenlight, we have a hobby exclusive, this Helldriver's truck. So this was a stunt team that was at the 1964-1965 World's Fair, and they did silly things with cars and trucks. They would jump them. They had contests to crash their cars, so they would set up a ramp and you know, roll the car up on two wheels. Like here, let me use the package. Roll the car up on two wheels, and if you got it on the side, you would get 2 points, and if you flipped it over, you got 5 points. So that was a fun competition that they did. I don't think they used these trucks for this, but they did jump these trucks apparently, and I just think this is a really cool release. Hopefully they'll do some cars if they haven't already. Do some of the cars that they did. They were all Dodge vehicles that they used. Although this is a 1966 truck, and they were at the World's Fair from 1964 to 65, so I don't think they would have used a 1966 model year truck in their show, but we'll give Greenlight a pass on that little detail. But yeah, cool truck. I like this a lot. I saw this release. I was like, oh yeah, I have to have that. Actually, Greenlight has a number of hobby exclusives coming out that are kind of in this same style that look really cool. I'm really looking forward to seeing those. Next, we have another Mini GT. Ford Mustang Shelby GT500 in Shadow Black. Mini GT has done a great job on this casting, as they do on pretty much all of their castings. Wow. Yeah, this is cool. Look at that. That thing is awesome. If you like Mustangs, it is. Yeah. That looks really good. Nice gloss black. There's no metallic or metal flake in it. Rear wing looks really cool. Quad exhausts. Yep. Look, treaded tires. And detail in the base, which is good to see. Shelby logo on the grill. Yeah, such a cool car. They don't really capture the Mustang headlights though. That's a pretty anonymous looking headlight, and the Mustang definitely has a very unique headlight style with 3 angled slashes in the headlights, which is they did not quite capture that in their release. But still very cool looking, very cool looking version of this. Man, these are cool. Yeah, even though that Tarmac Works has some issues, I'm super stoked to have these. These are just awesome. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of those. All right, next from Greenlight. This is from Vintage Ag Cars Series 6. We have a 1969 Datsun 510. Vintage Ag Cars is always one of my favorite series from Greenlight. Just because it's, you know, just the vintage ads are awesome. So it's one of the few Greenlight series that I actually keep the card from. Most of the time I just throw them away because they're generic. But in this case, I will save this card. And I always like the Greenlight Datsun 510 casting. It's the 2-door version. Should have a opening hood, I believe. It's a little tight. Can't really see much in there. Something blue in there. The air cleaner seems to be in blue. It's pretty tight, but they got a okay job on the white wall tires. A little sloppiness, but these are a little more off. It's always, you never know what you're going to get with that. This says I didn't realize this 510 had lens taillights. Painted headlights, though. This is cool. I like it. Like it, even if the white walls are a little iffy, but it's cool. Oh yeah, there we go. Mini GT rolls. Just Dodge roll. Oh, I didn't check these. Do these roll? Nope. No, it doesn't roll. Well, it does if you put some pressure on it. It does roll. This one will. Yep. And that one rolls fine. All right. Moving on. Really been looking forward to these too. This is going to be a good week. There's a lot of really cool stuff to look at today. So I have first a couple of these lowriders. I haven't gotten all of them yet, but this is the 1987 Chevrolet Caprice. This is a really cool series that Greenlight's doing. These Impalas are very awesome, and these Cadillacs, of course, as well. And they actually lowered them, which, yeah, this looks really cool. It's got the black. Let's see if I can get a cloth and this is going to clean up. The black is, yeah, I think it'll clean up. I'll have to put some work into it, but I think it'll clean up fine. It's unfortunate that you have to do that. It's a common problem with these gloss black cars from Greenlight, though. They always seem to come out of the package with some kind of gunk on them, or oil or something. But yeah, these are cool. So I was a little apprehensive about these when they first came out, because they had done, not too long ago, they had done these earlier lowriders, and I thought these were not very well executed at all. They're not even really a lowrider. They're just a regular, regular release with some pinstriping on them. But this series that they're doing is definitely on a different level, and these are some very cool cars. Definitely looking forward to picking up more of these. And we have the 1973 Cadillac Coupe DeVille, and this is the first version of this casting. I have Sedan DeVille, the Rocky hitch and tow release that I had picked up, but this is the first Coupe DeVille. Yeah, this is awesome. This looks really good with these gold wheels. Again, it's going to need to be cleaned. The black, look at that, it's terrible. I don't know what they do to it. You can see the oil on there, but nobody else has that issue, just Greenlight. But no license plate. Not a lot of detail in the base on these. That's interesting. Is that the same on this one? Yeah, kind of. I mean, I guess they sit so low that it's maybe they had to do that, which is okay. I'd rather have it sit low than have it. Ooh, that one doesn't roll very well. This one rolls fine though. Yeah, I'd rather have it sit low than have detail in the base. I don't really care much about base detail in reality. These are awesome though. So cool. So cool. And they actually got the bumper reasonably straight on this one. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better than most of them. We have another Cadillac that we're going to take a look at later. We'll see if they got it right on that one as well. All right, next we have an M2. This is the first example of this casting that I've picked up, 1969 Plymouth Roadrunner 440. So I have decided that I'm going to, since there are only a total of 25 different castings in the Auto Drivers series from M2, I'm going to pick up at least one example of each of those castings. I have most of them already, but they have done, I think they're on series. So this one is series. This is from release 68. So this is a little bit of an older release. But they had, they're on, I think, version or release 83 or 84 at this point. And with only 25 castings, roughly 6 cars per release. That's a lot of repetition in their releases. But I mean, they do a lot of variations on their castings. You know, like this one is a drag version with slicks on the back, and you've got something, a little crooked engine scoop here poking out of the hood. That doesn't look very good, but otherwise, this is pretty cool. The metal flake in this is probably a little large for the scale. It really stands out. Looks kind of neat, but could be a little more subtle. This blower is not set very well. That's unfortunate. Still, it's cool. I'm glad to have it. I'm sure I'll get another different version of this at some point. This one rolls fine. Cool. All right. So to go with the Tarmac Works Hobby 64, we have another very high-end release to take a look at. This is from Inno64. This is a resin model. So this is a Liberty Walk Skyline ER34. So this looks like a super silhouette race car, although it's not. As far as I know, it's not actually a race car. It was just something that they did, you know, adding custom bodywork to it. I don't think it was really intended to be raced, although I could be wrong about that. Because it certainly looks like a race car. It has all the sponsorships and numbers and everything on there. But I think it was... car making is an art itself. Absolutely, it is. And I think Inno64 is one of the best at the art of model car making. And this, in theory, should be one of their preeminent releases, because it is a resin model instead of their usual die-cast models. Has a very nice plinth, definitely a step above your typical cheap plastic plinth. It's covered in some kind of fabric with stitching along the edges. Looks really nice. But we are, of course, going to take this off of the plinth and give it a closer look. Of course, it's a resin model, so it's very light, and it's not going to roll. I've yet to see a resin model that does roll. And it's definitely a super cool model. But realistically, I think they've gotten so good at their die-cast models that there's not really anything better about this than what they've been able to do in their die-cast models, to me. I think it looks like they did do maybe brake discs and calipers in there, but I've seen better brake discs and calipers on die-cast models as well. Roll cage. I mean, seat detail. I think, a lot of times these you get better interior detail, but you can barely see in there. It's really hard to see in there. You have red seats. But yeah, I mean, this is a really cool model. It's a really cool car. But I think I really do think that Inno has gotten so good at their die-cast models that there's no reason for resin models. I'm not sure that I really have a resin model yet that I think trounces what's being done in die-cast now. It's gotten so good. But this is cool. It's a very cool model. It is a little bit disappointing. I don't know what I would expect, because I mean, they've gotten so good for 1/64 scale, right? I mean, you got to keep in mind the limitations of the scale. It's it's not going to be what you can get out of larger scale models, but it has gotten very, very good. And Inno64, as they said, Model car making is an art itself, and they are very, very good at it. All right, next, okay, we're going to do something a little different here. So we're going to bring back a model from last week. So I had picked up this Dodge, not Dodge, it's a Plymouth Hemi Cuda. And when I looked at this front end, I swore that this front end was missing a piece because that front end looks awful. And everybody told me, I don't know, 10 people in the comments told me that no, that is just the way the front end on these looks. It is not missing a piece. But to me, this is completely unfinished. It looks like unpainted, poorly cast, poorly stamped. It looks terrible. This is not what the front end of this car is supposed to look like. I was shocked that, I mean, M2 is obviously known for having questionable quality, but I was shocked to see something that looks this bad. So of course, I bought another one, and actually I bought two. So we're going to take a look at these and see. So is this the way that these are? This one is chrome. It doesn't look very good. Let me get it off the base, just because I always have to get stuff off the base. Yeah, it was. When people started telling me like, "Oh, it's not missing a piece," it was like mind blowing to me that because the rest of this car is not bad. In reality, the rest of it looks pretty decent, but that front end is just hideous. And this one is maybe slightly better because it's chrome, but look at how those cutouts are. They're terrible. It doesn't look as unfinished as the other one, but it's like the tooling's worn out or something. So this was from release 73. This one is from release, I believe, 83. Both of these are Auto Drivers releases. So I'm going to guess it. Because this casting has been issued. It's the second most issued casting in Auto Drivers. They've put it out, I'm going to say, at least 34 times, which is a lot. If you collect these, there's 34 different versions of these just in Auto Drivers. And they are not only available in Auto Drivers, they are also available in these other more premium versions. So in this case, it was an AutoMod's release. And this one was from AutoMod 7. This is 2020. So let's get this one out of the package and see if the grill is as bad looking on these more expensive, more premium releases. And this is a really cool looking release, though. That looks really, really neat. And these bases are definitely a step up as well. But yeah, it's a very cool car. But look at the grille. That is definitely a lot better. And in this case, it looks like there is maybe another piece on there, or maybe it's just they use a different. It's a different tooling because this has lensed headlights. So they maybe it's just that they have a different tooling for these releases that doesn't look as bad. But yeah, this is a really cool release. I like this a lot. Opening hood. It's not going to close, which is a common complaint. And opening doors. You can't see a whole lot in there, but yeah. Anyway, so that's interesting. Interesting to see how bad the grill is on the Auto Drivers Hemi Cudas. And we can look, you know, everybody else can get it halfway decent. So this is a Greenlight release. That's not too bad looking. We have a Johnny Lightning, which is okay. I think Greenlight did it a little bit better. We have a Racing Champions. This casting has other issues, like this hood won't close, but you know, they did a halfway decent job on the grill. And even Hot Wheels can, you know, do a halfway decent looking grill. So, all right, have we dwelled on that enough? So there's the answer to the question. Yes, everybody was absolutely correct. That is not missing a piece. This one has the same problem. It just happens to be chromed. And that just looks terrible. Not good. But that looks a lot better. And so, you know, this is a more expensive model, so you get what you pay for. Obviously, it's much more substantial in every way. Metal body, metal base. And looks very cool. This is a very cool release. I like this one a lot. All right. Moving on, we have some new Matchbox moving parts. We're gonna go through these fairly quickly, but so we have the 1975 Range Rover. I believe that this is a brand new casting, or at least a retool of an older casting. And I was pretty excited to see this, but I think that there's a little issue with the execution on this one, which is the problem with these moving parts releases. But yeah, so 2021 copyright date. So this is a new release, which is really cool looking, but that hood doesn't match. It's a different color, and I think it is metal. I thought looking at it in the package, I thought, oh, they did a plastic hood, but that sounds like metal, right? That sounds like metal, and but it doesn't match, which is very disappointing, because I think this is a really cool release otherwise. Yeah. Huh. I don't know. It just looks okay from the top. It's just from the side. That's kind of weird. Kind of reminds me of the Auto World Suburban, like the way that they messed up that hood. So I guess we can look in the hood. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot going on in there. They didn't do a tampo on top of the engine or anything. It's just a plastic piece. But yeah, this would be a really cool release. It would be a lot better if that hood didn't open. But you know, it's a moving parts release, so they had to open something. Then another new casting, the 2021 Mazda MX30. It's a weird vehicle to me. It's so small. It's like almost like a Mazda 3 size, but an SUV kind of vehicle. Little kind of funky looking vehicle too. Yeah, I don't know. This looks a little weird. Opening tailgate. Opening tailgate. There we go. Oh, there's something in there. Is that a dog? Huh, yep, he's got a dog sleeping in the back. That's cool. It's weird looking little vehicle. I'm sure this will not be a particularly popular casting, but it's kind of interesting. So this set, the moving parts set, there's five cars in this set. I have 3 of them. The other 2 were the Divco milk truck, which I passed on because I don't like that casting, and a Corvette. And the Corvette is not a new casting, and it was, every time I found these, it's gone, which is very surprising to me. I don't understand why that is. So then we have the Seagrave fire truck, which is kind of cool if you like Matchbox fire trucks. And I believe that this is also a new casting. At least I couldn't find any information on it. Yeah, copyright 2021 here. And let's see. Oh, it has some assembly required on this one. So this slides in this way. There you go. And then you have a slide out ladder. That's kind of cool. It's pretty decent for a Matchbox fire truck. Lots of chrome. This is the City of El Segundo Fire Department. So, cool release. Not a very popular one. This one seems to be kind of hang on the pegs, which I guess isn't surprising. I think people who collect fire trucks are a more limited set than collect other vehicles that they would put in the moving parts series. I'm so disappointed about this. I was really looking forward to this because for some reason I really like Land Rovers and Range Rovers and all those various Rover vehicles. I don't know why, but I do. And that one's a little disappointing. But next we have another Cadillac from Greenlight, Hitch and Tow Series 24 with the Airstream Bambi trailer. So this is the sedan DeVille version with a standard ride height, not a lowrider. And I love these Airstream trailers. This is the first Bambi version that I have. I have the regular one is back there in the corner. So it'd be good to add the Bambi version as well. I avoided these hitch and tow releases for a long time. And because I don't really have space for these kind of things, but these things are really cool. And unfortunately I really like them. So I will be trying to restrain myself from buying too many of them because I really do not have room for them, but I do really like them. This looks fantastic. It's nice metallic green flat black roof. Dirty windows, of course, which is always the disappointing thing. It's just such a cool land yacht. And bumper's a little crooked on this one. So I had the red one, and I managed to take the bumper off. And the problem was that there's a little bit of flashing, or actually the sprue connections for this upper piece on the grill. So you just need to trim that off a little bit with an X-Acto knife, and then you can put the bumper back on and get it to sit closer to level, if you can get the bumper off easily. They seem to have a common problem with getting these bumpers on straight. This one's not too bad. It's not too offensive. The red one that I got was definitely problematic. But this is cool. I think this is I think this is my favorite version of this so far. At least of the sedan. This coupe is awesome. So let's see. Put the trailer on. Drive this around. Drive it into the back. And say thank you for watching.